I had a chance like in high school to like preach. They used to have a youth Sunday at my church. And so I'd preached, at least twice, and I'd continued doing that kind of creative ministry stuff for a long time. And so it just very much involved in the life of the church in that way. And so I sensed a call to ministry, but some of the counsel I got, Steve was one of the people that gave me this counsel, was like Charles Spurgeon's old counsel, which is, if you can do anything else besides ministry and be happy doing it, you should do that.
Yeah.
And so I took that seriously because I didn't want to get stuck in a ministry career, if that makes sense. Like, I didn't want to be like, oh, this is the only thing I know how to do. And so I decided I would be a teacher. And so I went, that was kind of the track that I was on. I was going to teach middle school or high school history. And so was happy doing that. And I was like, okay, if the Lord calls me to ministry, he'll make that clear at some point. As a freshman in college, really just, a couple months in, I was on my way home from Furman to go to a homecoming game at my high school. And I was in a near fatal car accident.
Wow.
And really crazy deliverances from the Lord through that period. I had a collapsed lung, a punctured lung. I had broken ribs, severe lacerations. I had to have a blood transfusion. They, had to lift me out. I had a friend in the car with me. He was in less critical condition, but also it was very serious for him as well. I don't remember what happened. I don't remember how the accident happened. It was on the interstate. And looking at pictures of the truck, like, I don't know how we survived. Like, it really was God's grace alone. And I woke up in an induced coma, and I remember, having no idea what was going on. And I looked at my sister, and a friend from my church growing up had taught us in one of the kids classes how to do sign language finger spelling. And she and I had both learned this. And I began doing finger spelling because my hand was so mangled I couldn't hold a pencil, and asking questions, what happened, and so on and so forth. And they were really worried about me. They didn't know if I was going to make it, mainly because of damage to my lungs. And a lot of people started praying. A lot of people from my hometown, a lot of people at college that I'd met began praying. And the Lord heard those prayers and healed. And so originally they told my mom, we need to keep low expectations here. And they're like, probably going to be in the hospital the next month. I was out of the hospital in 2 weeks. I was actually back at college in a month. And so beat kind of all of the predictions or whatnot. And that was really just from the sheer grace of God. And I came out of there really just declaring God's deliverance. And it was this amazing opportunity to be able to share with my classmates at college just about God's salvation and protection and some of the miraculous things he had done in my life. So that was significant there, but it was also significant in terms of vocation, because I had this very lived experience that life is short.
Yep.
And I had this moment as a freshman in college where I was like, I know I want to go into ministry. I know the Lord's calling me to do this. It's just a matter of when. And life is short, and I think I want to do this sooner than later. And so started, kind of preparing for that trajectory and seminary as like a next step.